Right. If you want to start recording now, Shar.
Okay, I have Livy, go.
Perfect. Hi, everybody. My name is G. Fletcher, and I'd like to welcome you to Team Heart United's weekly training. We're up to week 11 already, and tonight I'm so looking forward to having Tanya Southey, the pleasure of Tanya. She's actually going to be talking on immunity to change, and it's all about getting rid of these blockages that we have the minute we set a goal. So really looking forward to this. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is G. Fletcher. I'm from the Sunshine Coast. And if you just want to move one slide there, Tanya. I'm married with 2 kids and I'm an elite Pro 7. And in about 3 weeks' time, I'll have been with the company for 2 years. So I just would like to welcome everyone who's new and just say, so looking forward to having you on here, and just welcome to the team. Shout out if you need any help at all. We're all here to help everybody. If you just want to move along there again, Tanya. And yeah, as I say, big welcome to everyone there. So one thing that I just want to touch on, we're not really going to do much on announcements at all tonight, but we've just had news that very excited that we've got 3 doctors. There's going to be a doctors panel on this Saturday morning from America that have aligned themselves with LifeVantage. So they're going to be coming on. We're just finalizing the times, but we think it's either 9 or 10 a.m. New South Wales, which will either be 8 or 9 Queensland. So we will let you know. So it's very exciting. They're going to be talking about oxidative stress. You can bring any medical person on or anybody on, but numbers are limited. So I would, once we know, try and get on as soon as possible afterwards. And they will have a Q&A as well, so we'll be able to ask them some questions. This is going to be a fantastic tool as well. We'll be able to edit it and chop it, and it'll be a great tool to be able to send out to any prospects in the future as well. It's really always really good to have a panel of, 3 professionals. So yeah, really looking forward to that. So tonight is a 2-part series. So tonight we're going to have Tanya Southey speaking on immunity to change. And Tanya is a global executive for Qantas. She's been trained by Robert Keegan. So she's going to be really talking about how to uncover our hidden blocks. So we're looking forward to that. Then there's going to be a part 2 series next week with Pollyanna Lenkick. And Pollyanna is an entrepreneur, an executive coach, mentor, and also an author of a successful book, Women in Success. So in this session, Paula will help us understand and unpack how our mindset drives the core of our action and inaction. So look, this is going to be really for people who want to move to that next level in being a distributor, grow their mindset, grow their rank, move up to the next rank, and just remove any blockages that you might have. So I hope you're going to enjoy this 2-part series. I'm going to hand it over now to Tanya so she can get started. And yeah, thank you so much, Tanya. Really looking forward to this.
Thanks, G. Can you all hear me? All good?
Yes.
So tonight I want to talk to you about immunity to change. And this, as G said, is something that was developed by Robert Keegan and Lisa Leahy, who were Harvard professors. I think Robert's now retired. And there was a video that G put out before this session, but basically immunity to change is where we set goals and we really want to achieve something. And when you're looking at change, we often talk about getting a burning platform. If you've worked in a big organization, they'll say, what's your burning platform that we actually get people around to mobilize them around this new goal? And so what Robert and Lisa did was they did a study on people who had a massive burning platform. And their burning platform was that they just had a heart attack. And if you've had a heart attack, hopefully because we're all trying to activate ourselves, we won't be in that situation. But if you've had a heart attack, there are about 7 things that you have to do. And those are sleeping properly, exercising, eating properly, taking your medications, looking out at your diet. And so what they did was they actually interviewed people who were leaving the hospital after they had been ill. And they said to them, of those 7 things, what are you going to do? And basically what everyone said, I'm going to do all of them, of course. And so they were really setting themselves a goal to do all the things that the doctor told them to do. They then caught up with them about a year later. And a year later, most people had not done it. In fact, only 1 in 7 had actually stuck to the things that they said they were going to do. And from that, they developed this theory that when we set goals, we develop an immunity to that goal. And really, if you think about what we do, we're looking at our immune systems and how our immune systems protect ourselves. When goals are set that are not in line with who we normally are, we develop this immunity that we actually don't want to do it because we're not going to be us anymore. And so this tool that I'm going to take you through tonight is really the ability to look at where is your immunity? Where are you protecting yourself from something that you are setting a goal? It's like a New Year's resolution every year. You set that goal and for some reason you don't do it. And that's your immunity. So that's what we're going to go through tonight. So there's going to be a little piece of paper. If you've got a piece of paper in front of you, you can actually sort of map your immunity as we're talking. Otherwise, you can watch this video later and pause it in places and actually do your own immunity map, which would be a good thing because next week when Pollyanna does the training, you may want to look at your goal and your mindset around what you've uncovered in the immunity map. So before you start the immunity map for yourself, what you need to do as a warm-up is really think about who would give you feedback around the goal that you want to set. So say you want to set yourself a goal to actually, really become very good at selling Protandim. What would people that you are in a team with, what would your family say about you? What would they say around your goal? And that's just to get an idea of whether there are any areas where you would need to improve. And then what would you say? So just start to think about what people would say. So that's just the precursor to doing the map. Then on the screen now, I actually have the blank map. So it's a very simple tool. So if you wanted to do the map while I was talking, just on a piece of paper, draw these 4 columns. And in the first one, write self-improvement goal. The second one is what you're doing or not doing. The third is your worry box, your hidden commitments. And the fourth is your big assumptions. And I'm going to walk you through how to get to your map by the end of this video. So off we go. So column one is really your improvement goal. And this is the top priority self-improvement goal that you are setting for yourself. Now, it's really important when you're setting this goal that it's something that's really, really true for you. It's something you really want to do, something that there's room for improvement, and it's something that implicates you. You must be on the hook for it, and it must be stated in the affirmative. And when you look at that goal, like if you said you wanted to be a Pro 5 in, 3 months' time, when you looked at that goal, it's got to be so important to you on a scale of 1 to 5 that it's a 4 or a 5. If it's not any of those things, the immunity map's probably not going to be very powerful for you, and you're going to need to go back and find another goal. So it can't be a wishy-washy goal that you're saying, nah, maybe I'd like to do that. So that's really important. And what I've done in this session is I've kind of created a fake immunity map so that you can kind of see how the immunity map goes. So if I was then looking at my column 1 and I was, let's just call me a new distributor, my self-improvement goal might be to be better at selling and closing customers on Protandim. And that might be very, very important to me, and I rate it a 4 or a 5. I'm really on the hook for it. I want to do it. So that's great. It's a good goal. So now you get to what you are doing or not doing that works against your column 1 goal. So normally when we set goals, what do? We make a list of everything we're going to do. You know, I've done this before when it's a New Year's resolution style goal. You know, you say, I'm going to get fit and I'm going to get healthy. And so that's your goal. And you write down, I'm going to get up every morning at, 8 o'clock, and I'm going to, that's too late to go to the gym. You see, I already can't even do this goal. But you write down everything that you're going to do. So this is a little bit different. You are going to write down all the behaviors that you are doing that get in the way against you getting to column 1. And you don't worry about why you're doing it. You just write down what these behaviors are. So if we go on to our little fake one that I've produced, I might say my self-improvement goal was to be better at selling and closing customers. And what am I doing or not doing to actually do that? Well, I'm making lists of potential customers, but I'm not calling them. I'm meeting people for coffees, but I'm getting psyched out of talking to them. So, maybe it just didn't feel like the right time, so I didn't talk to them. I'm not following up when people show interest on social media. I might get a little hook and I'm just not following up. And then I'm not posting on social media. And then finally, when I do finally talk about Protandem, I just give them so much information that I wouldn't buy from myself. I'm like vomiting information on them, right? So these are all the things that I'm either doing or not doing that are working against the goal, if I'm this hypothetical salesperson. So now you can see that this is slightly different to any other goal setting. So once you've got that, you then go into column 3, which is the worry box. And you start to imagine doing the opposite of the behaviors in column 2. So the things that you wrote down that you were doing or not doing, you really picture yourself and you think about, what am I thinking or feeling when I'm not doing these things? What are my doubts, concerns, anxieties, or even fears? And you write those down in the worry box. And what's very interesting in the time that I've facilitated this, because this is normally about a 3-hour workshop. Obviously, we can't do that on a Zoom, but you get people really feeling like whatever their goal is, it boils down to feeling silly, feeling not good enough, being worried about how they look. So let's look at how a hypothetical person who's trying to sell Protandem might actually think about this. So in their worry box, they may say, look, I'm really scared of getting the product info wrong. I'm scared of sounding stupid. I'm scared of not being able to answer a question and not knowing what to do if something goes wrong. Those are my worries. So suddenly you can start to see in this immunity map where somebody is putting their foot on the brake and where they're putting it on the accelerator, because what we're trying to uncover is why this goal is really jerky. So if I'm saying, hey, I'm going to go off and I'm going to be better at selling, but I'm really scared of these things, then I'm not going to be putting my foot on that accelerator as effectively as I should be. So what you then do, once you've uncovered your worries, you actually write them into what is a hidden commitment. And so a hidden commitment is a goal that you've set yourself that you're probably unconscious about. And so those goals that you are unconscious about are actually, that's the foot on the brake, but you're not even aware of that. And that goal has protected you, and it's probably protected you for years. And you've been successful because of that goal, but that protection is not helping you in the current situation. And so you write down what you committed to. So if you looked at this, the person is, let's just go to this one quickly. I'm also committed to not looking stupid. So you've got a goal about not looking stupid. You've also got a goal of appearing so perfect that you don't get into trouble. And you've actually got a goal of being afraid of learning new things. Now, suddenly you're having a big aha that when you sat down and said, I'm just going to be better, you didn't realize that these unconscious commitments were actually holding you back. The very important thing when you do this is not to write your hidden commitment in a noble sense. And so the noble sense really is about, oh, I'm worried about making other people feel uncomfortable. That sounds like something that actually we should all be worried about that. So it shouldn't be something that makes you feel good about yourself. Because if it's too noble, you're not going to want to do that. So you really want to just get down to the nitty-gritty. I'm committed to not looking stupid. So once you've got that hidden commitment, you then go into really understanding what I've said before, which is this is your immunity system. Your hidden goal is actually creating a behavior that is preventing you from completing your goal. And that is what is holding you back. That's your handbrake. So then what you do is you go and look at your big assumptions that your hidden commitment has actually made you have. And assumptions are really things that we believe are true that we don't often test. And we filter out things that are the opposite of our assumptions. So you have to ask yourself, what assumptions must I be making that would keep me captive or give rise to my column 3 commitment? So really here, I'm going to take you through my little things in the way. So the big assumption here is I assume that my entire value proposition rests on my being seen as being very smart, having the sources of answers and solutions, doing things perfectly, and being in control. And I assume that my identity would be shattered if I wasn't regarded as A, B, or C above. So you start to really understand that those are big assumptions, but those assumptions are not actually accurate. Our assumptions are never entirely pervasive. We can all make a mistake and still be seen as smart. We can all do things imperfectly and still be seen as very, very competent people. We can still sometimes lose control and still, basically be seen as a person who's got their stuff together. And so what we then have to do is really work on overturning our immunity system. So once you can see what your immunity challenge is, you're moving from unconsciously immune, where you didn't even realize you had this thing that was going on, or this belief that was going on. Once you see it, you are consciously immune. You can actually say, oh, well, I've got this thing, I do this thing, and it holds me back. Then you've got to go and do some work on it so that you can be consciously released. So you're aware of the fact that you've got this immunity system that's pulling your handbrake up. You then work on the release of that. And then eventually it becomes the new way of thinking becomes so much embedded in who you are that you become unconsciously released. And so in order to overcome those assumptions, you can't just, go, oh, gee, I know that, and now I'm going to, behave differently. You've got to be able to observe that big assumption, because that assumption has served you and has made you successful in the past. So you've got to really stay alert and look at where you can challenge your big assumptions. You could actually write the biography of your big assumption. So how did you get it? Where did it come from? What does it look like? And then the really important thing is designing a test of your big assumption. And so a test of your big assumption, if you think about the protandem example, is could you have a conversation where you don't know everything? That might be bringing your upline into a conversation. And actually, no one's going to think any different of you. That's a safe test for you. If you uncover something that's holding you back, it's a safe test for you to go, actually, I don't need to know everything. And then when you look at the results of your first safe test, you say, actually, I am quite good at doing this stuff. So let me run and develop further safe tests. And once you've consolidated your learning, that's when you start to get your release from your immune system. So here are just a few more examples of a safe test, which I think you can read on the screen. So if you don't know the answer, you'll lose the sale if that's your big assumption. There are some things you can do that we've kind of touched on. And so basically, what I think you need to do is once you've done the safe test, then work with Pollyanna next week and come up with another goal. Instead of just saying you want to be better at selling protandem, come up with another goal that might be around something that has come up in your worry box and your hidden commitment. So moving your goal to actually being more of, I don't always need to be right, and I'm going to be really conscious of not having to be perfect, and I'm going to push through when that comes up for me. That goal will actually turn you into selling more protandem, ironically, than actually setting the goal around selling protandem. That's pretty much the immunity map in the shortest possible way that I could explain it without doing a 3-hour session. I don't know if anyone on the call's got any questions. If you have, maybe just pop them up now and I'll help you with anything that you might have got stuck on. No questions? It was a whirlwind tour through the immunity map, so.
This was really good. I'm definitely going to have to listen to it all again because it's so different to, like, I was here going, okay, yeah, 1, pretend 2. Everyone knows that I'm trying to lose weight at the moment, so I am doing everything. I am intermittent fasting, and when you said, what would your family say or what would people say, it's like, you have dieted all your life. What's so different this time? It's like, because I'm not dieting. So it's been really challenging to try and work out what I am doing. It's like, I am actually doing everything really well, but I'm not losing 1 pound. So my body at the moment, or my mind, is like, you're not going anywhere. So it's like, I definitely don't have a fear of wanting to lose it. I really want to lose it. So, yeah. So what would you say in them kind of instances then?
The interesting thing is I've had that with weight loss where I've yo-yoed up and down over time.
Yeah, all my life.
And what does happen for me, where I've now seen a pattern, is if I'm stressed, I eat. And my immunity around when I'm stressed I need to examine that, because there's something that I'm doing that actually, putting on some weight actually protects me when I'm stressed. And it's almost like, the bigger I get, the less you can get to me.
Yeah.
And so the work I think I would need to do, and I'm projecting this onto you, G, is around that. How do I, when I'm stressed, get into more self-care, more self-protection, and then lose the weight? How do I shift what I look, what's my mental image of myself in my head? There's a really great guy who lost a fortune of weight, John Gabriel. I don't know if you've heard his visualization. And he did it first by changing his mindset.
Yeah.
And how he saw himself, and then the weight actually fell off. And he was like 180 pounds. And he should have lost weight in the beginning really fast because he was so big. But his weight at the beginning took a very long time to fall off. And then at the end, when it normally takes ages to fall off, it just fell off him. So a very different approach, which I think would be very much in line with this kind of thinking around how do you shift whatever the reason is that we all put on weight. Get to that core reason and you shift that reason, your body will probably respond.
Yeah.
I did this with my book. My book writing that I was doing, I actually realized I didn't want to finish writing my book because what if it was a crappy book and everyone said it was horrible? And so what I've been doing is I've actually been doing a safe test on, I'm going to get another kind of book out, which is about to be published. And that's my safe test. So it's funny.
We all have them. We just need to see what our worry box and the assumptions we have about them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. As I said, this is really trying to, condense a 3-hour workshop where normally we would work with you one-on-one. In the workshop, we take breaks. This is really just like giving you the theory in 20 minutes or something.
Yeah. No, it's really good. I don't know, does anybody else have any questions about I think your answers and your assumptions when it came to selling and about customers was really accurate. Everyone makes lists, but then there is that fear of sounding stupid, not knowing enough, fear of rejection, all them things is what everyone, a lot of people do think. And sometimes it's that acting on ignorance, like ignorance on fire. Oh my gosh, I see so many people that like the less they think and the more, sometimes that's what creates so much customers for them sometimes.
Yeah, because I think the thing is, I know when I'm uncomfortable with something and I try to do it, I don't come from a place of authenticity, but give me something that I'm comfortable with and I'll be able to just talk my way through it, and of course your customers are also going to pick that up, right? So dealing with whatever your hidden fear is so that you can arrive in a place that's confident and you comfortable, your customers are going to feel that comfort. So rather work on that goal of getting yourself comfortable, because then the sales will come.
Yes. Yeah, when you're never even going out getting it, it happens.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah. Well, that was excellent. So does anybody else have any questions or anything for Tanya about this? We have a bit of time. So does anybody have any questions or understand or don't understand some of the columns? And Tanya, would you be able to maybe put up, we can take this PowerPoint and put this up as well?
Yeah,
Team
yeah. Absolutely, yeah. So, I'm allowed to facilitate this. I've done the course, so that's fine. And I think without the PowerPoint, it's going to be very difficult to do it.
Yes.
You've got to see the examples in front of you.
Definitely. So people can have it up and be going through it. And no, definitely. I think that was excellent. Never seen something like that before, but it's good.
Just the last thing I would say is sometimes when you do this, you uncover something that may be, a trauma that happened to you. If you need to get professional help, do, because this can be a very quick way of uncovering something that you've had a pattern for a long time that's being created from having a trauma. Do get, do get help for it. because it can be quite a powerful way of uncovering a pattern that you've had for a while.
Great. Excellent. So lots of beautiful comments up in the chat. Everyone's just great, awesome, love it. Life-changing, get your head. Lots of people are saying looking forward. Pollyanna, fabulous. Tanya, love how you translate Bob Keegan's work to be workable for everyone. A message to my team, our pals, please do a few immunity maps and keep doing them. It's a practice that is a gift that will keep on giving. Great training. Yeah. So no, that was all excellent. Lots of people saying life-changing. So yes.
Thank you. I've never done this on a remote screen like this, and normally, you know, you're in a room where you can actually interact with people. So thanks. That's great. That the message translates even when you're not in person. So good.
Yeah. Now everyone's saying loved it. Can't wait to go back and do it again and pause and pause the recording and everything. So I think this is going to be pretty powerful for the team. So thank you, Tanya. I really, really appreciate it. And I really encourage everybody, you know, as Tanya said, let's play around with a couple of these, you know, let's look at a couple of goals. Like I will definitely be looking at a couple of very different kind of goals and really trying to get to the bottom of it over the week before Pollyanna then does her follow-on next week. And Pollyanna's saying buddy up with a teammate and do them together. Okay, yes, that's a good idea as well.
That is a good idea. If there is somebody that you trust that you can sort of say, here's my map, that's a great idea. Thanks, Pollyanna. Because what you might find is the goal that you set initially, as you talk it through, that goal in the first column, you might go back and revisit because of what you uncover.
Cool. Okay, everyone. So we'll get this recording up to you by tomorrow, and don't forget the doctors panel on Saturday. We will also have that up tomorrow, giving you the exact times and who they're going to be, which is very exciting. That'll be another great tool. And I'm also putting up Dr. Maniscala. I've ended up cutting that interview that Becky Taylor did with him, so it's cut down to 20 minutes. And then next week we'll have a follow-on with Pollyanna, and to use this to the best of your ability, I think, you know, try and get a couple of these immunity maps done before next week, so you kind of go in there with some work that you can really connect with Pollyanna and try and uncover some more. So thank you so much, Tanya. Really appreciate it. And yes, look forward to seeing you next week, Pollyanna. And thank you, everyone, for joining.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.